You ever want to get seen, get heard, get paid? You ever wonder how some people have that it factor and some don't? You want a strategy to get there? Well, today's guest on my episode, Power Your Profit podcast, I have Keri Murphy. She's the CEO and founder of Inspired Living. Keri Murphy is committed to empowering people all over the world to dream it, live it, be it. The international speaker, media expert, and business mentor honed her expertise in entrepreneurial field for over 30 years as an on-camera expert for 3 decades. Her company specializes in teaching entrepreneurs how to clarify their message, authentically show up on camera, and leverage video in order to build an influential brand. Please welcome my guest, Miss Keri Murphy.
Welcome to Power Your Profits podcast, your friendly guide in bringing your business revenue to the next level. Listen as host Dr. Susie Carder hears inspiring stories of success from her fellow entrepreneurs and transformational leaders. Prepare to make significant change to your strategies as they unravel the secrets of building multi-million-dollar businesses and the most effective tips on finance, marketing, and sales accountability. If you want to take your first steps towards explosive business growth, this podcast is for you. Without further ado, here is your host, Dr. Susie.
I know I say this a lot, but I really am excited for you to meet Keri because Keri is one of the secret weapons that we all need. Most of us dread this conversation, but we all love the conversation. But first, in your own words, I already said your bio, who you are, you're magic and amazing. Tell everyone what your magic is and what makes you so different than every other person out there.
Oh my geez. Well, I think the number one thing that makes me different is that I actually really, really care. I care about our company. I care about our clients. I'm really passionate, and Susie, you know this, about really giving women a voice and power and wealth creation and all the things that video just allows you to do, right? Video is just a conduit. But man, I feel so blessed to do what I do and I love it. And I think also what makes me so different is, we're not a company that just teaches you how to be on camera. Like we're a company that actually teaches you how to grow and scale your business through video. So, a background over 30 years on camera, not to date myself, and 25 as an entrepreneur. It's like where video meets strategy. It's a beautiful place.
Well, it is like it is a difference between just showing up on video, which takes a lot of courage, but then having a strategy around it. And I think that's what I love
Yeah,
is
like we're not a bunch of actors teaching you, how to act, or we're not a bunch of journalists, even though we have amazing team members that are, teaching you how to be on camera. Like it's so much more than that.
so much more and how to
So
touch
much.
hearts and minds and souls. Right. And you see this as much as I do, but there's so many people struggling right now because of our economy, because of whatever's happening. So what's your secret sauce, Keri Murphy, for staying growing during the challenging times that we face?
Oh my goodness, Susie. Well, you're one of them. Having mentors and team, having people on your team that, support me and my zone of genius, I think is so, so important. But for, the entrepreneur right now, especially in the online climate, people are so much more discerning. We are inundated with messages and content confusion. I've been teaching this for 12 years and it is so noisy. So it's imperative. It is non-negotiable. Like you have to be on camera. You need a super clear message that I can resonate with and raise a hand to say she's talking to me in that 3 to 8 seconds. And this is the thing too, Susie, there are so many coaches and healers and realtors and doctors. Oh my, it's like, why you?
Right.
And as women, we have such a hard time saying why us. And actually, one of the biggest compliments I just got because we just went through Convert on camera was like, you're so authentic. Like, I really know that you care, but you also have boundaries. You're super confident. You can tell, right? Like, don't mess with Keri. And I love that. We need more women holding that space for themselves, having non-negotiables, but really becoming that go-to expert. I've talked about it for years, but it's so important right now.
Right. So let's talk about go-to expert. How do we become not just the go-to expert, but the go-to expert?
Well, right. It's a myriad of things, right, Susie? I mean, first of all, you have to get really clear with your message. Who are you talking to? Stop trying to reach everyone. And, it's the biggest thing as we continue to work with our clients. They think they're niche. And I'm like, women 30 to 60, not niched. Like every single decade is a different psychographic. I'm in a different phase of life. So stop throwing the blanket out there trying to catch everyone. So that's one thing, is just, who are you reaching? And then how are you positioning yourself? What is your secret sauce? What is your unique differentiator? Why are you the doctor I'm going to go to, the business coach I'm going to go to, the on-camera expert I'm going to seek out? And that comes down to shock and awe right here, putting out great content over and over and over again. I talk about the conversion formula. How do you make money with your videos? You have really strong emotional connection with your viewers. You are consistent with your content. People need to hear things 27 times before they make a buying decision. So you think you've said it enough, and au contraire, my friend, you have not. So that consistency, and Susie, the more you're consistent with a message, with that air of sophistication and confidence and whatever je ne sais quoi, we call it the it factor over here, that you bring to it, that's how you become the best of the best, the go-to, the cream of the crop, the category of one. It is, what you stand for, what you don't stand for, who you serve, who you don't serve. And then you're consistently showing up with great content.
I know people are so afraid to say no. Like, it's okay to say no to clients. It's okay to say no to money. It's okay. They're afraid if I say no to this money, there won't be money. But I found
By the way, not all money is good money, and not all clients are great clients. In fact, we literally just refunded people that were going to come into our program because we knew it wasn't a right fit for them. And having that bar, like that level of integrity, like you bring in clients that aren't with you just for one program, they're with you for years. And that's what we want, right? We don't want just the one and done. We want people working and growing with us year after year. So attracting the right people is so much better than attracting all the people.
Now, I know you have a lot of hacks, right? Because I've learned so many over the years. So Keri and I have played in many ways, just so you know. She's been my coach. I've been her coach. I've taken her program. She's taken our programs. Like, that's a synergistic relationship. But you do have some hacks. So let's talk about, because you talk about consistency. Mm-hmm. And so what are your hacks to be consistent on camera? What are some things that I can do so that I don't blow it off? Look, right. She knows me, because I will blow it off. Like, I'm busy, being busy.
And by the way, we are all busy. Busy is the state of the world. And, I think you have to prioritize what matters. And you showing up right now has to matter. It has to be a priority. And I have 2 little kids. I have a husband that travels. I have a team I'm managing. I have clients I serve. So trust me when I say I understand the time crunch. If I did not do 1 production day a month, let me say that again, 1 production day a month, there's no way I would get out the high level production quality that I do. So that's one hack, is just schedule all your videos for YouTube, like more of, I call them your product videos. I teach 5 types of videos, but these product videos is that kind of signature video you're putting out for the week. It's populating your YouTube channel. It's going on your video blog. You're slicing and dicing and kung fuing it into your social. So that 1 video can be your content for a whole week. And again, it's 1 production day a month. Now, if there is supplemental videos, because now we have reels and we have stories and we have all of those things. First thing in the morning, as I'm getting ready, it's like top of mind. What do I need to shoot today? What story do I need to create today? And either as I'm getting ready or as soon as I'm done, I just get it done. Because if you put it out there till the end of the day, you're tired and your makeup stripped down your face and you probably won't do it. So do it while you're fresh and you remember.
You're listening to another episode of Power Your Profits podcast. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Are you tired of pouring resources into strategies that don't work? Say hello to Dr. Susie Carder, your future fractional COO. With Dr. Susie in your corner, your business can skyrocket to 7 figures and beyond. With a track record of creating thriving businesses, trust that you are in good hands. Head over to coo.poweryourprofits.com and let us put some magic into your business growth. Overwhelmed by the complexity of business profit strategies? Jump aboard the Bullet Train to Big Profits course, a streamlined solution by Dr. Susie Carder. This course is designed to uncomplicate the path to profitability. Imagine being able to identify and execute profit strategies with ease, skyrocketing your revenues. Visit course.poweryourprofits.com and sign up for the Bullet Train to Big Profits course today.
And video is a muscle. I say it ad nauseum, but it is so true. It has to start becoming top of mind. So if team needs some supplemental reels or Keri, we need this, I'll do the same thing, Susie. I will look at my week, I will find an hour or so, and I will just knock out those videos. Now, I will say that it takes me probably a lot less time than those of you that are starting out. But just like anything, you're great at what you do. I couldn't come in and, walk a mile in your shoes. So again, the P in perfection stands for poison. Done is better than perfect, but be consistent, one production day a month, batch whenever you can, and then just start top of mind. Like, what can I share today that would be of interest to my audience, my viewers? Because we don't think we're interesting, right? Like, how is getting ready in the morning interesting? Well, it's funny how many people think getting ready in the morning is interesting, right? Or
Right.
whatever it is. So, kind of part of really creating interesting content is not just talking about what you do, but letting people into who you are, because that's the only thing that makes you different. What you do is not unique. It's who you are that's unique. So show us that. I call those personality videos.
Josie,
Just
girl.
saying.
So let's talk a little bit about right now, like your biggest challenge in growing a multi-million dollar business, because this is Power Your Profit podcast. People want
Yes.
to talk about the money, right? What's been, I would say, your formula to keep growing? Because you've grown year over year. I've watched you, right? And it's like this, it's up, down, up, down, up, down, right? I always love when we talk authentic and talk from our valley as much as we talk from the mountaintop,
Yeah, for sure.
amazing. The team's amazing. What would you say that's having you either the biggest lesson that you've learned in growing a multi-million dollar business, biggest failure that you've had growing a multi-million dollar business?
Where do I begin? Oh, what I will say, what keeps coming up, and it's the same thing we talk to our clients about, is that old saying, what gets you here doesn't get you there. And it can be so hard because you're so used to being here. Um, I think it's Gay Hendricks who talks about the upper limit, right? The upper limit issue. And you don't even know you have it. I will say, I've grown Inspired Living now to a multiple seven-figure business, but I feel like we're just getting started, and I'm so excited about what we're doing, which is exciting. Like I feel like we're at the tip of the iceberg, but it's like, what do I not know? It's like the levels of competency. Like, I know what I don't know. I'm very clear, but it's what do I not know that I don't know? And
That's stuff
so,
that kicks you in the teeth, right? It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, it's like, ooh, and being willing to let go of what was to step into what is possible, and really looking at systems and strategies. I can't believe I just said systems, but looking at systems and strategies. And because again, you can get to six figures fairly easily if you have a clear message and a good product, right? To me, six figures, I did that year one. But man, when you start getting to multiple seven, there's a whole new level of stress. There's a new level of responsibility for your clients and your team. There's a new responsibility on who you are and how you show up as a leader. And girl, you hear me say, like, I feel like I'm failing as a CEO half the time. And then other times I feel like we're killing it. So I think it really is like, hire great people, help, people that can see, your blind spots, and then be open. For me, it's like really being open and realizing that, you know, being grateful for what got you here, but looking at what's the gap, and how do you get the right people on your team to bridge that gap. So team, and team. And it's hard. Building team is hard. Managing team is hard. Not getting so emotionally entrenched in the team is hard because I feel like I'm such an empath. I just want to love but you need metrics and KPIs and consistent sales. That is so different than when you started your business and you were just like, oh, I just hope I get money this month. So I think
ah,
that's the biggest struggle. And not having that constant. Yes, by the way, I'm really proud. We have grown year after year after year, like a zero every year, which I'm really, gosh, so excited about. And we still have those dips, right? Where we win one month, the next month there's no strategy. And then we have a strategy and then we don't. So really that consistency of making sure we're not doing just one thing to bring in the revenue, but just like we talk to our clients, we have multiple revenue streams and multiple ways to connect. That's also really, really important, Susie. because video is the thread of everything that we do, but we do a live launch. Well, not every single client is going to be with us for 5 to 9 days. So then how do you serve the super busy, person that wants to come in and digest content in a webinar or in some other form? So it's really just understanding where your audience lives and how you show up to meet them.
I love that. So how do you manage the duality of it, right? Because I think a lot of us are there, right? I have this amazing side, and then I have the where I want to just choke people, right?
Mhm.
And I have a great month, and then I have a crappy month, and it is about sustaining. But when you're in that mentally as an entrepreneur, that's probably one of the hardest things that I see my clients face and I face of not losing it while I'm in it. How do you,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Honestly, Susie, I pray.
Mm.
I really, and I grew up a woman of faith, but I feel like in this stage of my life, faith is a much bigger part. That higher self, like really tapping into my intuition, taking time, which I have really sucked at over the years for creating space and to be able to think through things. Because when you're growing and you're managing and you're serving, and then you're a mom and all the things, like you could just feel, and I'm going to be really honest, like last year, if the rubber band stretched anymore, and it wasn't that I wasn't happy and I wasn't fulfilled, but there's only so much Keri, there's so much Susie, there's so much of you.
Right.
So that for me, like how do I manage my stress has become a real thing in my life. I have become a yogi. I cannot wait to get to a yoga class. Finding time to pray, going to church, finding time to just walk. I mean, they're so simple, but I
Yeah.
think we all make excuses for why we don't take care of ourselves. And we hear the word self-care all the time, but how do you really implement that and make time for it in your calendar? For me, it's a struggle every day, honestly. Where do I find more time? Because, I only have a finite amount. But I will say that, like, I have to manage my stress. So I have to work out, I have to eat well, I have to, go play and do things that inspire me so I can continue inspiring others. I mean, you can't be burnt out and go out there and do your best work in the world. So that's the
Right.
balance right now, especially with a 4 and 8-year-old at home.
And a man and a
And a
travel
man.
and
Yes.
a baby. So what's one thing you wish I would have asked you? Could be about your success as an entrepreneur, learning to be an entrepreneur, your education.
I would probably say what has been the one thing that I feel has got me to this place today. Like if there was one thing outside of faith, I would say it has been the willingness to fail. And I think there's so many of us that are so afraid to fail, to look bad, to not look ready, like to not have all our stuff together. And that has never, now granted, I can still look at myself and go, you look like that. You say, like, you have one eye that's wonky, or it's time for Botox or whatever it is. But it's just such a different lens that I look at myself now because it's like, am I relatable? Am I authentic? Would I listen?
Hmm.
So I think the willingness to fail and failing often, not being afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm afraid to lose, right? I'm afraid to lose it all because that's a past story,
Yeah.
but I'm not afraid to try. I'm not afraid to make a mistake. And I will say it has been that pretty much my entire life. The level of resilience, tenacity, maybe a little too much optimism, um, that keeps me going.
Right.
And I wish more women had that just inner knowing that, failure is not an endpoint. It's just a stepping stone to the next thing. So
I
that has
think
been
part of
huge in
it's
my
your community, right? The people that you hang out with. I know that in your tribe, right, you have this people come for the education, stay for the women dynamics. I hear it over and over and over again. I've been searching for this community. I've been searching and I see, we all see you on social media, right? Like, oh my God, you've got this girl tribe that really empowers you
Yeah.
to be, it's important, right? Having those mentors, having those girlfriends, having
It
that.
is so important, Susie. I mean, community to me, not just my client community, but where I hang out. What friends am I hanging out with? I travel to be a part of a group of other 7 to 9 figure business owners. Like, who's filling my cup? And that is so important, ladies. If you do not have a tribe that you feel like is, your second home, especially in the business space, there's 2% of us making
Yeah.
over 7 figures, which is redonkadonk. But yeah. So you really need to, and this is why like the failure conversation, every single one of my girlfriends, huge failures,
Right.
have done things that worked, have done things that haven't worked, have had people steal from them, have had lawsuits, like, and you just realized it's just part of the game. And I think
Right.
you said that recently, like, it's just a game. And how are you going to show up to play? Because that's all
Right.
you can control.
Right. So what's one thing Keri Murphy wants to be remembered for?
I mean, hello. I mean, it's such a silly question, like inspiring people to their greatness. I really want to be remembered for, um, video is just a tool, but really empowering women to share their voice, to make a bigger difference, to claim their brilliance. I wish that for every woman out there, to not wait for permission, to claim their genius and share it. And, I say so often, I really do believe that we're all given these incredible gifts and talents. And I knew mine early on, but I didn't trust them early on. And so for me, I just want people to trust their vision, really believe in themselves, and, make the difference that they know they're here to make. It's so cliche, but it's so true. Yeah.
Sometimes you need to hear it from a different voice, a different angle, a different, there's so many times, and it doesn't matter how many times I sit in your class, I'm like, oh yeah, 5 types of videos. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, headroom. Oh yeah, this. Oh that. Yeah.
So I think if you've never been to any of Keri's stuff, you have to, one, follow her on social media. Two, right, come to her Convert on Camera, come watch her, come be a part of the community. And if this video, Keri's message, inspired you, please share it with your tribe and your community. Somebody needs Keri, right? If you loved it and you love her, I love her. The minute we met, we fell in love and
It's
just
so true.
had
Yes.
this great kinship. So we talked about your niche today. We talked about you being the go-to expert. We talked about balance. We talked about being willing to risk it all, to get it all, even in the face of fear, even in the
Yes.
face of,
And I will say, the fear never goes away.
no.
Like, yes, you have more confidence maybe in what you do and who you are, but you're not playing a big enough game if you're not feeling that little butterflies in your tummy, or you're feeling like everything is, rainbows and lollipops. You got to be willing to risk and double down on yourself sometimes. And we need more women out there doing that.
And we don't like it in the moment. I think that's the difference. In the moment, like you say that, and I know we do that, but in the moment when I have to make that decision, I'm, working together, you and I, we've just had to make some of those decisions. It's scary.
Yeah.
And it's on the other side, right? It's on the other side when you do it that you're like, oh, I needed to do that. And it was so scary.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, whether it was we get sued, whether we are getting a loan, whether you're taking out more money than you anticipated, whether you're, borrowing money from your home or your retirement to be able to fund your dream and fund your business. It's not like a straight, like a hockey stick. It's not.
It is
right?
not.
It is like your pulse, your breath of life, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So I just invite you to check her out. Keri's an amazing podcast. And we also have a gift for you, which I'll put in our show notes, which is our Keri's Be Studio Ready guide. And we'll put that in the show notes. Keri Murphy, thank you for who you are. Thank you for who you be. I appreciate you.
Love you.
Your gift that you gave us today.
Thank you so much, Susie. Thank you for having me. Just love you so much.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Power Your Profits podcast. Let these building blocks from today's most successful industry leaders equip you with the necessary resources and tools to finally establish the highly profitable business of your dreams. Want to hear more? Listen to more episodes at www.poweryourprofitspodcast.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the show. Now is your time to rise to the top of your game. So be sure to catch our next episode. Until next time.